Not bad. Not bad. I put bass in the voice. It's not bad.
There we go. It's
How
no,
how are how are you doing?
I'm good. I've been giving this a lot of thought, Sha. I've been so this to start the year off, one of my resolutions was to uh track my receipts a bit more. I wanted to be a little bit more aware of my fiscal responsibilities, especially like as a comic. I
Mhm.
feel like I was pretty like cavalier about that process, and I know it's an opportunity to like uh better document, save money, all of that jazz.
Right.
And I guess the reason that like I couldn't understand why I struggled with it because I did well with it until I became a comic.
Hmm.
And I'm curious if like uh as an artist, the more you lean into like art mind, that like you disassociate from like responsible, like the other side of things. Like I feel like analytical things are a whole different side of your brain.
Mhm.
And when you're creating, you struggle with those and vice versa.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, like, and this only came to mind because like so like money's tight this month.
Mhm.
Specifically because I have the same amount of gigs, I have a normal amount of work. I'm
Mhm.
making a normal amount of money. I committed to two different long-term projects. One of them, my runner shows at Soho Playhouse. Come out, see it. It's on Fridays in New York.
Mhm.
Um, they don't pay you till the end with these things. As a comic, I'm very
Mm.
much used to like, yo, did the show, here the money.
Right.
I planned, did the show, here the money,
Right.
energy and scheduling with not those type of shows.
Mhm.
So like, I'm like, yeah, theoretical bread. We've talked about this before.
Yes,
I'm
theoretical
crushing
bread.
it. Theoretical money all over
Uh-uh.
the place. Actual money got a little scary this week.
Mhm.
So I was like, yo, I used to be in charge of like an $11 million business for Fortune 500 companies, and I crushed.
Mhm.
I did well. I budgeted well. We had weekly sales projections. I had meetings on Tuesdays with all my sales reps,
Mhm.
a monthly and quarterly meeting with my boss, and all my shit lined up. I don't know what happened when it got reduced to one house, four people. I thought it would be easier, but on
Right.
God, I can't budget it the same. And I'm
Mm-mm.
curious if it's because I'm out of that frame of mind. I used to spend 40, 50 hours a week being hyper focused on these budgets and sales and numbers.
Mhm.
Now I spend 40, 50 hours a week focusing in on being funny and telling stories. And like, it takes my brain a while to do these other things and it struggles at it.
Um, Before you started, being creative for money, and you were actually doing that, the math, like, for your job,
Yeah.
were you able how easy does that come to you? Like, was it a struggle at the time for you to be able to keep all of that going for a business and lots of money and all that stuff? Like, was that something that came easy to you? Or was
Yeah. I think I even like, depending on um where and when, I even enjoyed it.
Mhm.
And I struggled the other way. Like, I enjoyed performing, but I struggled with getting in the frame of mind to create new content. So like
Mhm.
writing like my first 10 minutes took like years.
Mhm.
Um,
Okay.
so I felt like the challenge was the other, and that's part of why I eventually like decided to like resign. I really enjoyed performing. And every time something good happened, like I'd get like a TV spot and they're like, yo, come do 10 minutes, like that would burn all the material I had.
Mhm.
So I'm like, I gotta be able to produce more. And I clearly other people are able to do that when this is what they do.
Okay. Well, I mean, How are you at compartmentalizing?
I'm pretty trash there.
Okay, because I
Yeah.
think that might be where what you've got to work on in order to handle both things. Because I mean, I tell you what, you probably are already light years ahead of um most people in our industry. You're certainly light years ahead of from me. Do you know what I mean? Because you kind of already cotton to doing the financial part, keeping
Okay.
that straight. I am not I am not good with money. Eh,
Okay.
I'm not bad with money.
Right.
I could tip into being bad with money, but I'm not bad with money, but I'm not good with it. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm not going to let myself get into a hole that I cannot dig out of. To
Right.
me, that's being bad with it. I see like, oh no, I gotta stop here or I gotta do blah blah blah. These things will be paid, all of this stuff will be taken care of. Well, I'm not good with it in that I don't keep track of receipts.
Right.
And my mind is because I have a day job and whatever taxes I gotta pay on the comedy, it'll just come out of whatever they took out too much of from the day job. I
Right.
just let the IRS fucking settle that shit up for me. I just send them papers and I'm like, y'all work that out. Um, but I think it's because you tend to be a all in on a thing.
Yeah.
I think you may have to practice some compartmentalizing a few things.
Okay.
And also, a comedy is a place where people can absolutely take advantage,
Yeah.
right? So they may not be on the up and up in the way that a Fortune 500 company needs to be on the up and up. Little itty bitty fiefdoms don't have anyone to answer to.
Right.
So they can so there's that element of it that may throw things off. Um and like you said, like a scheduling thing, like not realizing that you don't get money until the end of the run. That's probably absolutely what happens for them all the time. End of run, you get your money. But you know, we are a give me the drink ticket now kind of people. That's where we're coming from. So that's just file that away as when I do this again, either in this place or another place, I know that that is how theater people do their business,
Yeah.
and I can adjust for that. So these may be just the growing pains from that lesson, but I think for you, maybe it's just like, um, I know that you're like, okay, I've got this, and this coming in, so we should be fine. But also know that you may not be fine. That like, that may not because a lot of it is chasing down. I don't know how often you have to like really chase down money,
Yeah.
but that's a big part of any kind of creative work, no matter what kind of form it takes. It's a lot of it is chasing down your money. So you've got to develop that. Now this is just a pep talk for me as well. You've got to like kind of put aside part of your brain that will deal with that. Here are the hours of the week where I chase down my money.
Right.
Here's when I send out my emails to let people know that I'm available. Here's when I chase down the money. And I let them know every week, "Hey, if I don't hear anything in the week, guess who you're gonna hear from again? And guess what? It's gonna ramp up,"
Right.
because
Right.
that kind of thing. Or, "All right, here's where I look at here's what I figured out for last week, but now it's another week. How did that plan look? And how does that need to be shifted?" You gotta be like water in a lot of this. It's rigid, but you also gotta be like water in it because it can change at any point. Especially, it's absolutely going to be harder because it's one house, 4 people.
Yeah.
So that's more people.
Oh,
So
because
that's
they keep
absolutely
getting
harder.
hungry like every day.
Yeah, yeah. So you've got like that's why you have to be like water because they're not going to stand still.
At all.
And yeah, so I think that's it. But I think you may have to actually just be like, this is the time for this, and this is the time for that. And that's when I will devote this much of my brain to doing that part.
Yeah.
Um, rather than just like, all right, I can see where it's gonna be, and that's how I think it's gonna go, and then we just go ahead back into the creative things. Like, you may have to set a little bit more time apart. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it feels like you're already doing that, but it may mean just being a bit more diligent and out of the creative time for a
Yeah.
second just to handle that stuff.
Okay. I got to make that pivot. Yeah. This
Yeah.
caught me. It caught me. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, okay. Like we might be hungry next week. And
Right, yeah. So now the part of your brain where you would be either tracking down money or the part of the brain where you're creative, now you've got to pivot to being creative in a way that's not like putting jokes down or stories down on paper.
yeah.
It's still creative, but just in a more financial way, I think.
Yeah. Like how many different ways can I say peanut butter and jelly, you know?
Yes, right,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean,
Serve it different, you know?
yes, have we tried cutting it into triangles? Have we
Game changer.
tried? Have we tried cutting it into strips? I mean, I don't have we flipped it over so the peanut butter's on top? You know what I mean? Just different ways to come up
Straight
with.
up. Kids was like, yo, we should do something fun. And I found a YouTube video for the family to watch. I'm like, yeah, we gonna learn about New York apartments together, okay? You know about
Yeah.
railroad apartments, son? Come on, come and learn. It's free. Straight up. That's what we did yesterday. They got
That's
bullshitting. They learned about railroad apartments, brownstones.
that's very funny,
Straight up. Did you
but
know the history
also
of studio apartments in New York? I do now.
oh, wow.
Straight
Actually,
up.
I will look that up. Do they know how, to take care of, horses' hooves?
No.
Let me
Oh, and
tell
I
you
seen
something.
though. You're right. Yeah, those were
They
all.
go in there and fucking dig that. Let me tell you something. Start them there or start them with like a sheep farm where you see them like dealing with the sheep and bring them all in and then shearing them and all that shit. That's good for 2 days. That's good for at
Yo.
least 2 days of like, what the hell? Once you get started on that horse thing and then you like move to cows and trust me, YouTube, farm YouTube is gonna hold you down for a minute until you get your money right.
Yo, I'm gonna do that straight up.
Mhm.
Because we was deep. We was in like New York architecture history. You
Oh,
know what
that's
I mean?
great.
I saw the initial railroad apartments. They would have like 3 to 4 families living in the railroad apartment, like
Hmm.
one per room. And then like a book came out that was called How the Other Side Lives.
Okay,
And
that
the
sounds
pictures
familiar.
in that book is what led to like reform in apartments and what made New York change laws that required windows.
Oh shit.
You know, like it's straight up, like the rules they implemented would like blew my mind that like nobody thought that was a need.
Mm,
So like every building with railroad apartments had to include enough outhouses because they still didn't have bathrooms in the apartments.
mhm.
They had to include enough outhouses in the back so that it averaged out to 20 people per toilet. Like that was an upgrade,
Oh my god.
straight up. And this is the 1900s already.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, shit. Like, so like, Aiden's listening to this. I'm like, y'all two fighting over 2 bathrooms, you know?
Right? You could be fighting 18 other people
Straight up, yo.
for a chance to go outside.
To go outside, yo. That's
To
just
go to the
crazy.
bathroom.
Straight up. New York came a long way. But yo, we watched that whole shit, you know? And then I sent them to do homework, but it bought me time, you know? That's quality time we spent right there, my G.
Yeah, definitely. Put that horse hoof thing in your back pocket. It
Okay.
will, especially if they've not spent a lot of time on a farm or anything like that.
Yeah, nah, that's not them.
Yeah, no, that thing is fascinating to see how they clean and dig out all the dirt and all that kind of stuff.
Low key relaxing. Like it's like
That
the
the
pimple
sheep
popping
one,
videos. Yeah.
yeah, the sheep one definitely when they're shearing them and everything,
Yeah.
and they're just lifting them up and cutting all that hair off, and the sheep are like, "Yep, that's what happens to me every couple of weeks."
Yo, that shit was dope. Now
Yeah.
we've been like Gabby admittedly is leading the charge on like the other thing. Like I'm supposed to be like I'm trying to be more health conscious.
Mhm.
I said that out loud. I admittedly haven't done my part as much for that. But
Mhm.
Gabby took that as like, oh, I'm gonna use that as an excuse to make you go to doctors,
Oh, right,
you
yes.
know? And now you can't fight me because it's your resolution. So like
Yep.
I went to an eye doctor with her on Monday.
Mm.
Straight up. Like she got me signed up for like 4 appointments I don't even know about. You
That's
know what
great.
I mean?
How was the eye doctor?
It was cool. A lot of upgrades. They don't do the air puff thing no more.
Yeah, right, I
You know?
noticed that. Mhm.
Yeah, they like check your pressure differently now. They had like a little pen.
Mhm.
Then they had like a target range thing. Like it looked like I was playing a shooter video game. You put like a
Okay.
target that like follow the target. I was like,
Mhm.
okay, I'm gonna crush this shit. You know, I play first person shooters all day. We good. You
Right.
know? But it was cool. It was they checked my eyes out. They told me I'm good money. Got
Mhm.
solid eye health. Uh,
Okay.
you know, I'm definitely like I can't see well, you
Sure.
know. Can't, they got nothing to do with the eye health apparently. I didn't know that those were separate things.
Right, yeah, like, you can still your eyes can still not be great
Yeah.
and still be okay.
Yeah. I was like, I don't understand. She was especially like, your eyes are healthy. They just don't do what they're supposed to do. I
Right.
don't understand why that's the thing. But yeah. And I teased Gabby a lot because Gabby's eyes overall average to how bad my eyes are. But I have two about the same level of bad eyes, whereas
Mhm.
she has one atrocious eye
Oh,
and perfect
no.
vision on the other eye.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, like her shit crazy. So I was like, yeah, I don't even know how this work, B. Like you wear a monocle? Like how do you get around, homie? You know? So like I'm
Oh,
fucking with her the
no.
whole visit, and they're like, so like they brought us in, they still doing like medical COVID protocol, to be
Mhm.
safe. So everybody's wearing masks. And they make us go separate to different things.
Right.
So we made one mistake because I haven't been to the doctor in a long ass time.
Mhm.
And they asked us if they want to do the dilated thing, the
Right.
eye drop. And
Uh-huh.
we both said yes.
Mhm.
And then they just throw you out into the city. And like
Yeah.
we blind as shit for like 4 hours. I got kids to like coming home.
Did,
We
did they at least give you, like, some paper shades or anything?
we was out there, Sha. Like
Oh, wow.
we we was roaming uh like Lower East Side Manhattan, just looking for help. Like straight up. I know we bought way too much like tea and coffee just to find places with shade.
Mhm.
Every time I felt brave enough to go back outside, it was too sunny, had to go back in. So I had to
Right.
keep buying coffee at
Yeah.
different like bistros all across that area, you know? I was like, I just need a reason to sit here, boss. Whatever you just give me whatever you want on the menu. This is your chance, my G. I'm gonna tip you well because I don't know what I'm signing. But I need to sit down, homie. Like I can't see. I bought unintentionally bought 2 loaves of I forget what it's like, a Jewish chocolate bread.
Okay.
I don't know what it's called, but it's upstairs. If you want some. Uh like I didn't even know what it was. It's like, yeah, because when I went in, they have like a coffee shop area, but that part closed. And the
Uh-huh.
rest that's open is just the bakery.
Right.
So now I got chocolate Jewish bread. And I don't know what it's called, but I got it. It's like it kind of looks like pound cake, but they were adamant that it was bread. And I was like, all right, cool, man. Like I ain't fighting you. I just want to stay inside. So I
Oh
paid
my
$30 for
gosh.
bread. I got two
Mm.
loaves of this $16 bread. It's upstairs. It does taste pretty good.
Okay.
But I got that. And then I eventually found like a taco place. So I got some
Mhm.
protein in me.
Okay.
And about like 2 hours in, like somebody finally pointed to a train that was close enough that we could like make it there while only looking at the floor.
So, y'all weren't even you didn't even drive there, so
No.
this was just for you to
And I'm
man,
thankful. There's no way I would have been able to drive like that.
that's what I mean, anywhere else where you have to drive. I mean, last couple of times I got my eyes checked were here in New York, so I just got on a train and just in the hopes that it would take me where I needed to be. But definitely in Atlanta, they're just like, okay, just sit there for a couple of minutes. And then, here when I was a kid or in my 20s, they gave you little paper uh like sunglasses, little
Yeah.
paper shades to put on over whatever your glasses were so that you could at least stumble to your car and sit in your car for a minute and be okay. But yeah, here I definitely first off, the last time the drops didn't really make it in my eye. So you just kind of squirt in the direction of my eye. And I'm like, well, I don't know if that made it. So then when they had me sitting there for 20 minutes and I came back, they're like, the eye's not dilated. And I'm like, well, no, but I bet my cheeks are wide open. Like, you, I don't, maybe your assistant needs to get her eyes checked because she was nowhere near where she needed to be. So then I had to get more drops and sit there for a little bit longer. And then I guess my whole head was open at that point. So I could see straight in to my brain.
Oh
But it
man.
still gave me no shades, and I still was just walking around Midtown Manhattan like, I mean, I as long as I walk down, I guess I'll get to Brooklyn. Down and to the left, and I think I'll get to Brooklyn.
Oh, there's only so many boroughs,
Yeah.
Yo, I don't know. I tried, but yeah, I got one of those knocked out.
Okay.
I got better news. Gabby got to come back in 3 months. I got a year. So
Okay,
I feel
that's
like I
pretty good.
won, like I got that one.
Okay, it's not a competition.
Hey, listen, that's how you view it, Sha. Let's get into the news, Sha.
All right.
Kicking us off this week, we got Italian fugitive Edgardo Greco tracked down as a pizza maker after 16 years. That's right. Edgardo Greco's capture in Saint Etienne is the second high-profile mafia arrest by Italian authorities in a matter of weeks. Matteo Messina Denaro had been on the run for 30 years when he was detained on a visit to a clinic in Sicily.
Sorry.
Wow. He and another man was convicted, were wanted for carrying out grisly murders in the 1990s.
Okay, so wait. So the two guys, this Edgardo Gecko, who was a pizza chef,
Yep.
and the guy who went to a clinic did grisly murders and they got caught. Okay.
Gang. While Messina Denaro was the boss of bosses for Sicily's notorious Cosa Nostra, Greco was part of the Ndrangheta, organized crime mob who originated from the Calabria region in Italy's deep south. The Ndrangheta are now the most powerful mafia in Italy, and their tentacles stretch across Europe and South America. Greco, 63, was wanted for the murder of two brothers during the mafia war between two gangs in the early 90s. Stefano and
Giuseppe.
Giuseppe Bartolomeo were beaten to death at fishmongers in the city of Casina in January 91. Their bodies were never found and are believed to have been dissolved in acid. Yo, he did work.
Wow.
Greco was part of a rival gang, and he was also accused of the attempted murder of another man later that year in the same city. When the trial judge issued arrest warrants for him in 2006, Greco went on the run. 8 years later, he settled in the French city of Saint-Etienne, southwest of Lyon, eventually taking up a job of pizzaiolo in an Italian restaurant. Greco took on a new identity, calling himself Paolo Demetrio. By now, my man. By now, he had been given a life sentence back in Italy and was subject of a European arrest warrant. But in July 2021, he was sufficiently confident of his new alias that he appeared in the local newspaper feature, boasting of his restaurant's regional and homemade recipes, such as ravioli, risotto, and tagliatelle.
Wow.
My
Wait,
man was
hold
doing a
on.
press run, yo.
Yo. So not only did he make pizza in an Italian restaurant in France, but then he fucking had the newspaper talking about how official his food was.
That's just brilliant, yo. I ain't mad at that, man. You know, you get a new like life, a new lease on life, man. You got to make the most of it, you know?
I mean, I guess so, but I also feel like maybe maybe you don't go in the paper and brag about your ravioli. I mean, I know it's France and but it also is not like you're in America with an authentic Italian restaurant. You just went next door to France. Do you know what I mean? Like when there's something that's like, oh wow, this is like real Italy. I'm like, yeah, because Italy's like literally over there. That's like being in Georgia and going, ooh, this is real Alabaman. Yeah, it's right there. You can get there by train. It's not that hard. You can carry this. You can take that dough by train.
Oh man, yo, I just love that. Like, I don't know. I'm picturing like those pillow talks with his missus. Like, honey, you know, we've been really lucky the last 30 years. Maybe you should keep playing low. Like, I hear you, but grandma's recipe, like, people got to know. You know, like, it would be an injustice if more people haven't tried this ravioli, honey.
I mean, I think that if people already know, if what people know of you is that you are or may be a mafia boss, then you don't know how to lay low. Do you know what I mean? If they know that you are the boss of the mafia, that means that at some point you have said, tell them Edgardo Greco sent them. You know what I mean? Like, that means you couldn't keep your mouth shut. You aren't being quiet.
Sha.
So.
I think I figured it out.
Uh-oh.
What if he got tired of yes men, you know? My man's boss of all bosses. He's inviting the team over, you know, you gotta do some team building activities, I'm assuming, in all organizations, you know?
Yes, right, sure. Trust falls and things of that nature. Yes, right.
Exactly, you know. So they're on a mafia group retreat, you know? You know, they do icebreakers and like,
right.
you know, they're like, tell us something about yourself. He's like, I don't know if you know, I make a slamming pizza. You know, and he makes this pie and everyone tries it and everyone says it's great except one dude. He's like, I've had better, but nobody's gonna tell you because you're the boss of all bosses.
Right.
And he's like, how can we try it in an unbiased way? He said, I guess if you went on the run for 30 years, reinvented yourself in another country.
I mean, that's one way to do it.
That's one way to do it. And that's what he's doing. He's out here trying to prove that his pizza is good, even if you don't know that he's the boss of all bosses.
I mean, I guess so. But I also feel like, well, maybe that's what chefs and mafia bosses have in common is that they're unable to keep their mouths shut, that they want to brag. But I think there might be some chefs that are just like quietly good.
Yeah.
But the ones that are in the paper it's probably they're tapping into the same desire that wants to let everyone know that they're a crime boss. Also, if you look at a picture of this dude, like he's wearing gradient shades, aviator gradient shades. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah, well, you're not a chef. You know what I mean? Like, if
this ain't Top Gun.
If you didn't know the story and someone showed you a picture of this guy and they were like, this guy is either A, a pizza chef, or B, a mafia boss. 60-40, that's going mafia boss.
Easy.
Even though he's standing in the kitchen.
With the chef's coat on. Still wouldn't
believe it.
Mm-mm. That's just the cover. That's where they kill the bodies right there.
Right, exactly.
You know?
That's where, I mean, it's hard to wash off being a mafia boss.
Real talk, that's a book title right there. That's an autobiography waiting to happen right there. It's hard to wash off being a mafia boss. Yo, go ahead, Fab.
Oh, man.
I love that right there.
Let me go ahead and write
that's
that
the new
down.
Fabulous album right there.
Oh, no.
Yo, man, keep living your dream, homie. I ain't even mad at this dude.
Well, that's because he's been caught. I
Yo,
think
at
he'll
least let
rush.
that dude cook in prison.
Oh, no, he absolutely
He
I
has
mean,
to.
yeah, he definitely he's a mafia boss, so there's probably a whole kitchen dedicated to the various mafia
Yeah.
bosses, right? I'm sure there are sections of the prison that are just like, "Oh, you go to that's the Cosa Nostra, wing, so don't go over there." And then this guy has his wing, and I'm sure he cooks food and all
Why
that kind of
isn't
stuff.
that a restaurant, by the way? Like, why ain't there like a business, like I don't like a prison work like program where like you could go to like Rikers and have food made by prisoners? I
Um,
feel like they do work that like that's a job where like if you learn how to do it, it could legitimately be a job you get when you leave.
yes, and that might be why. Because I don't think they're actually in the business of rehabilitation.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
Yeah, I think it's partially that, and partially like there is something a little weird in my soul about going to uh, eat what the prisoners have cooked. Do you know what I mean? It feels weird. It's like when people have prisoners come out to do the law, like yard work for like the governor's mansion, which I know is a thing that has happened in various states
Right.
where they kind of hire out prisoners to do like that's
Yeah.
kind of wild. I feel like if you're doing that if you want to do rehabilitation, cook for like soup kitchens.
Yeah.
Do that, but don't do it for a restaurant. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't have like rich or well-off people go, I let the prisoners cook for me. They make a great macaroni and cheese. Like, that is wild business. And
That's
so,
fair. That's fair.
yeah, that made my heart hurt a little bit. But if it's for a soup kitchen, yes.
I'm just thinking of all the learning opportunities. You
There
can
are
learn how to
plenty
cook.
of yeah, there are plenty of learning. I mean, they're already look, I believe that prisoners are doing wild things with instant ramen and fermented fruit. Right
Yeah.
now, that if plated correctly could absolutely get them to the top 4 of Top Chef. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so it's not that they ain't cooking. They're in there cooking. But, as far as like, doing it for people to go, like to ride out on a ferry to Rikers Island and be like, look at us being bad. I want to shoot all those people in the head who would do that. So I know that that's probably not the right thing to do.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I'm just trying to listen, Greco. I was trying to create opportunities for you. Okay, Shalewa was
He
not on
already know
board with the
hey,
first draft, but
he created his opportunity. He got there already. He found his opportunity. Now it might be time to answer for the 2 brothers that he disintegrated in acid.
yo, real talk, man.
Maybe it's time to answer for that.
Hey, man, respect. You got to the top of 2 different industries, man. You know, respect, homie.
Oh,
In other news, Groundhog tragedy. Fred La Mormote, Canada's Punxsutawney
you
Phil
wait, Pux Puxatani. All right,
Punxsutawney.
it's Fred La Marmont,
Yeah, please help me.
Canada's Pux Puxatani, I believe it's how we say it.
Okay,
Punx Punx Punxsutawney.
Punxsutawney Phil.
Punxsutawney Phil. Yeah, he's the groundhog that we answer to, who is either in Jersey or like upstate New York or something like that. They consider him the groundhog that counts when it comes to Groundhog's Day.
Got you. Okay,
But there's the Canadian groundhog that matters.
Fred
Uh
Lamorte.
La Marmont.
Marmots.
Yeah.
He dropped dead on his big day, unfortunately.
All of that just to announce that this damn thing died.
That's why I was trying to nail it. I was trying to be respectful on his last day.
No,
You know
you're
what I
right.
mean?
That's very fair.
Fred Lamorte has been predicting whether or not Canadians would endure 6 more weeks of l'hiver for years. I'm assuming that means winter.
Yes, in
But
French.
during today's Groundhog celebration in Quebec, I'm not even going to try to say that city.
Okay.
The event organizer Robert Blondin made a stunning announcement. telling onlookers that Fred was dead. Isn't that a movie?
Uh, Drop Dead Fred.
Drop Dead Fred. That's what I'm thinking
Yeah.
of. In life, the only thing that's certain is that nothing is certain. Blondin told the crowd. Well, this year it's true. It's true, and it's unfortunate. I announce to you the death of Fred. Yeah, that was a little like morbid there, Blondin.
I
Like,
mean, they are French.
yo,
A little bit.
there's a lot of theater right there for this. Like, okay, La Mort de Fred. Those that attending the festival reacted as you'd imagine any crowd would. I have no idea how crowds react when
Well,
groundhogs die, by the way.
Well, they were, as it says, as they were expecting to hear a weather forecast, but instead received news of the death of a meteorological titan. I mean, if you gathered and it's Groundhog's Day and no one really knew that the thing was dead. And so, they're just playing weather songs and talking weather talk and getting you all hyped up for us pulling him out of his little hole and seeing how he reacts. But it's taken a little long. And then finally, the organizers just like, in life, the only thing that is certain is nothing is certain, or whatever you do it in France. Well, this year it's true, and it's unfortunate. Something like that. I announce to you the death of Fred. Which is very funny because you keep saying his last name, which is Fred La Marmont,
Marmont.
or Marmont, I think. But you keep putting an R in Mort. So you keep saying Fred Marmort and Mort L'Amour, or his death in French. So you are still putting the death in
there. Yo, my bad, Fred. I ain't mean it, okay?
I mean,
I struggle.
You ain't lying, though. That's the thing, is you're right. Fred the dead Fred. Yes, absolutely.
Oh man, I unintentional a straight shot there, Fred.
Mhm.
I'm sorry for your loss. They did say that he might have died peacefully because he died while he was hibernating, they believe. So he might have been dead for a long time.
So they pulled a dead. I can't.
Yo, straight up, they woke that dude up.
No, they didn't. He was already dead. They're just like, he's still asleep, trying to shake him. He's still asleep. He's not. He's cold.
So if he came back, he would have been Jesus, okay? Been a whole different article, okay?
Oh, this may be the best part. With the celebrations and festivities already in motion, Blondin allowed a child in the crowd to make the weather prediction instead. The child predicted 6 more weeks of winter. Well, of course he did. It's a dark time. It ain't time for spring. That kid needs 6 weeks to process what he has just seen. Like 6 more weeks in the dark, please, before I can see the sun.
Serious.
Y'all just had me in front of a dead fucking groundhog.
Oh man, yeah, man. To all of Fred's family and friends, sorry for y'all loss. No foul play was suspected. Apparently,
no, it was natural
causes, baby. So yeah, man. Yo, there's, by the way, like, there's really a picture of this dude holding dead Fred in this article.
Yeah,
isn't right? That's how the article starts. Am I bugging out?
No. You're not bugging out. That is a dead.
Yo, that is wild, yo. My man's really holding a dead groundhog to kick off this article.
You know what? We don't. That's how they get down in Canada, and who are we to judge?
Real talk,
honestly,
man. Canada's different.
It's nice to see a little. It's nice to see them do something a little weird.
Straight up, man. There was no NSF like W warning on this article at all.
No. This is.
We just read an article about like a mafia boss, but that caught me.
Yeah. Oh, wait till you see the next one. I put the next story in.
Please,
I found this one. Okay. Scientists are modifying catfish with alligator DNA to create hybrids for human consumption.
What?
The scientists at Auburn University, War Eagle, injected alligator DNA into farm-raised catfish The scientists found that the fish were more resistant to disease and less likely to reproduce. They hope that the new and less disease prone catfish will one day be sold for human consumption.
Mm.
Um, Geneticists have created disease resistant catfish using alligator DNA, and they may one day become part of our diet. A group of scientists at Auburn University published a paper in January detailing their efforts to genetically modify catfish with the, oh Lord, Catholic, Catholic, Catholicdin. I don't know.
Yeah.
Cathelicidin gene.
Yeah.
Oh, sure, of an alligator. It's found in the intestines of an alligator. It's antimicrobial peptide responsible for helping organisms fight diseases. The gene heightened disease resistance among the catfish in comparison to wild catfish. Researchers noted that survival rates of catfish were 2 and 5-fold higher. That's insane.
Yeah, that's solid. I ain't mad at this. Now, man.
But now, because they added this to a gene for the reproductive hormone, it reduces the catfish's ability to reproduce, which they said is important to prevent genetic contamination of the hybrid fish with wild catfish. So I guess if you do this, then the genetically um switched up the fucked with catfish
Okay.
will not have sex. The hybrid fish will not have sex with wild catfish because it reduces their ability to get it on.
Okay.
So that way you don't have some weird fucking fish, which I dare say, I don't know, mixing catfish with alligator feels weird.
Yeah, you know. We already started.
Yeah, okay, but researchers hope that the alligator and catfish gene editing wait, I just lost. Oh, wait, hold on. I just lost all of it. That the editing do. Oh well, I'll never find it. I can't because if I touch my computer, it will all go. There we go. Um, Researchers hope that the alligator and catfish gene editing can be used in tandem with other catfish breeding techniques to help farmers with their catfish yields. Do you like catfish, Gastor?
I'm gonna go with I have no idea.
Hmm.
Is catfish what the fish they sell at Crown Fried Chicken?
You know, I have not been to Crown Fried Chicken, but I've been to fish spots,
Okay.
and usually they may have catfish, but if it's just your basic, like, let me just get a fish and blah, 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 it's usually whiting.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with I don't think
But
so. I don't think I've had
but catfish is, I mean, it is very popular. I don't know um if it's the go-to for that particular fish place.
it. Yeah, I'm a whiting. I know whiting and cod. I'm pro.
Okay.
Tuna. I'm good with that.
Okay.
Outside of that, I might have had it, but don't know.
Okay, it's usually fried. No one's really grilling catfish.
Okay.
It's usually
Is
a
it
fried
breaded?
fish. It tends to be, but not like a really thick breading. I mean, I guess it depends on whoever's cooking it, how they do it. But I've
Yeah.
always had it with more of a thin kind of coating than a real thick breading that you see in like your Captain D's and whatnot. Which they use whiting, I think.
Okay.
But people swear by it. You know what I mean? People swear by catfish. Have you ever had alligator?
No.
Okay. I've had alligator nuggets. They were kind of chewy.
Okay.
Oh, they were a little chewy. And they didn't, even though we were told they would taste like chicken, they didn't really taste like chicken. It just tasted like a slightly chewy meat. Um, and I'm wondering what happens when you mix a chewy meat with a catfish. Like, I don't, you're going to be able to tell which catfish got alligator in it, which one don't. I just feel like you're going to know. Discerning, I feel like if you eat enough catfish, you're going to be able to bite into one and go, well, now this ain't normal catfish.
I bet this shit 34 times. I'm still working on it.
Yeah. I'm still chewing this bite. Like, this is not a normal.
I'm seeing pictures of it. I think I've had catfish.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I've done this. Look, I think I remember enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, catfish is good.
Yeah.
You know, it's a go-to. I think it's like, I believe it's considered a bottom feeder fish.
Okay.
So, like, at the bottom of the barrel is a catfish, which is probably why, it's, considered part of soul food menus.
Yeah.
Like the intestines of the pig and the just the
Hell
rough
yeah.
part of all of it that we just fucking breaded and seasoned and deep fried and made fine. Um,
I
yeah,
I mean,
so
overall, I'm appreciative of this. Okay. Egg prices
mhm,
are crazy.
mhm.
We had chicken shortages on 2 different parts of the body so far, right?
Right, yes. Yes.
So like I'm glad somebody's out here making more protein for me, okay?
Mhm.
Whatever it may be. Admittedly, extra catfish probably wouldn't have been my first choice. But if this is what you found a way to make, I could pivot my diet that way. You know what I mean?
Right.
I haven't heard about mercury poisoning from a lot of catfish. Um, so I'm
Right.
willing to try. If this is what you
Yeah.
got for me. I had duck last week, so anything's
Oh,
possible.
how'd you feel about duck?
Um, probably wouldn't have it again as my first choice, but I'd
Mhm.
have it. Like I would never like pick duck again.
How did you have it?
I had it in a taco.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like
Okay.
it was good and it was different for
Right.
sure. Like, oh, that was a cool mix up. But
It's
like,
like cool mix up,
yeah,
did you
like I
not?
had 4 tacos
Uh-huh.
and like I instantly knew, oh, this ain't the normal taco.
Okay.
And like as part of 4, I would 100% do it.
Mhm.
But like I would never be like, yo, today 4 duck taco day. Never happens. Whereas
Okay.
I've never had
Alright.
like, yeah, I want all carnitas.
Mhm.
Um,
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah,
but
duck is like, very dark chicken meat.
yeah.
It's very dark.
Oh, it was a
And
pivot.
and kinda, I don't wanna say greasy, just fatty.
Yeah.
So there's just more grease or oil to it or whatever.
Yeah, and it worked well, like within the thing. Like I can't knock
Mhm.
it. It was different. It was interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I feel like they have it on the menu just to have like first date people have something to talk about on the way home. Like, yo, how was
Well,
the duck? It was cool. Yeah.
that's kind of how I ended up eating alligator. It was the one time that I've been in, New Orleans
Okay.
and, was at some little restaurant, and I was just like, "Well, I mean, I guess I'm here. Give me the alligator nuggets."
Yeah,
Like,
yo. Hell
"Let's see
yeah.
what let's see what y'all are talking about around here."
That's how
And I
crab cakes, all of those things. Every time I've had them, it's because I'm in the place.
right.
You know what I mean? It's the thing. I'm in DC. I tried that weird sauce everybody hypes up in the DMV.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's not bad. That's a pretty good sauce,
Yeah,
I
it's
guess.
not bad. It's just
Yeah.
also like I understand why it's only here. Like
Mhm.
it's pretty good, but this ain't like, yo, the whole world needs to know. I feel like that about crab cakes. I feel like that about
Oh,
duck.
no, the world needs to know about crab cakes. It's just you can only get to it from you can only get to the crabs only because I was in, like, the Maryland area, and I had, like, crab legs
Yeah.
for the first time, and that was such a fucking mess, and I was like, "They just put this in cake form. We don't have to do
It's
all
so
this
much better.
work."
It's needed.
Yeah, just give me a crab cake with garlic butter on the side. We'll get there.
Done deal,
I'll
baby.
figure it out.
Done deal. And the same
Mhm.
restaurant probably does it. Why are we wasting this time?
Right,
Let them do the
yeah.
work back there. They have a whole
Absolutely,
kitchen. They
why
got,
yeah. You got
they
me out
got
here in a
towels.
bib?
Now I
Yeah.
look like I work in the kitchen. This is
Yes,
crazy.
exactly.
It was the
If
whole
I have
point.
to put on an apron to eat, I could have stayed home.
Straight up.
I could have stayed home and
Every
eat
time they
over the
bring that
sink.
out, the staff looks at you like, you sure? For real? We could take care of this for you. Nah,
I
okay.
mean, yeah, it's a that's not what I'm paying all the money for.
Oh. I have to say, why was catfish the first idea? Like, why didn't they put alligator in anything else?
Um, I that's kind of what got me is I'm like, maybe because it's, I don't know how plentiful catfish is compared to the other fish.
Right?
Because it's considered bottom feeder, it seems like it's always around, but we're probably actually although no one wants to talk about it because people throw so much shade on catfish, I wonder if we're actually running low on catfish
Mm.
and they're just like, "Well, let's just see if we can stretch out the catfish." You know what I mean? Because I mean, look, I don't know how well America took it when we were running low on wings, but I know people were upset. So if it also looks like we're running low on catfish after we're trying to get out of a wing shortage, yeah, let's just put some alligator in there and see what happens.
Yo,
You know what I mean? Like, but
oh, man, I
let's
can't
not.
wait to be out at restaurants and be like, yo, this catfish been stepped on, okay? This ain't the pure. This ain't what I paid for, okay?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Do you
I
think
don't
it'll
know
be
how-
listed separate?
I hope so, but
Right?
no, I don't think it will.
Yeah.
I think it will be in a way where it's like, this is wild caught catfish as
Yeah.
opposed to frozen catfish or however it is that they do with like wild caught salmon versus salmon from a farm and all that kind of shit. You know, like I think that you start with catfish, you know, like anything, you do the experimenting on the ones who can't, you know, the lesser quote lesser end quote, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, in the way that Henrietta Lacks's DNA helped us find cures for like find ways to deal with cancer, but her family had no idea. They just fucking took her DNA because it had the stuff in it and they used it in all these things.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's what they're doing to the cat to my brother Catfish here. They are. And once they smooth out the process, well, yes, we got a bunch of like fucking alligator looking catfish with ridges on their back and shit. But once they smooth that out, then they're going to stick it to the fucking salmon and they're going to stick it to all the other fancier fish, the mahi mahis of the world, right? But first, they got to try it out on the catfish. I
Yeah.
think so. It's either one of those things. Either it's like a real fucked up racist situation, or they're running low on catfish and they don't want us to like storm the streets, which also feels a little bit like another racist situation. That it's going down in Alabama is not a mistake. God bless you, Auburn, but
It's the suspect, baby.
Yeah, but you know.
Oh man, good luck out there. Yo, and also like get an alligator some props. Like, don't just like
Right?
take alligator DNA, put it in catfish, and still keep calling it catfish.
I know.
You know? That's fucked
I
up.
know.
Alligators is doing the heavy lifting.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to come up if this works out. We're really going to need to come up with a name that includes the, the gator. I don't know if we want to call him Stacy Adam Catfish or whatever. I mean, I feel like it's already all implied. You know, gators and catfish, like they're already together. I don't know what we want to do, but we should be right, do right by him.
Yeah, just give him some credit, you know. In other news, Walter Russell III, 14, becomes one of the youngest Grammy winners ever. He won a Grammy on Sunday alongside music icons Beyonce and Harry Styles. Russell's performance was as a principal soloist in the opera Blanchard Fire Shut Up in My Bones earned him a statue at the 65th Annual Grammy Awards held on the 5th. Fire Shut Up in My Bones won Best Opera Recording. In his speech, he thanked God, his family, and his mom. All the sacrifices you made for me, I can't thank you enough. With that, Russell joins the ranks of a few young Grammy winners. At 14, Russell is the same age as LeAnn Rimes was when she won 2 Grammy Awards, including Best New Artist. 8-year-old Leah Pasal won in 2002 after being featured on the Oh Brother, Where Art Thou soundtrack. And she currently holds the records for youngest ever Grammy Award winner. Blue Ivy Carter at 9 became the second youngest in 2021.
Well, that's great. Good for him.
Word up. This
Very
is dope.
sweet. There's a little picture of him accepting.
Oh.
Really nice. That's actually very nice to hear after all of the other discourse about the Grammys. Did you watch the Grammys?
I did not. I have like there's certain award shows that like emotionally hit me a little bit.
Mhm.
So yeah, like I think like for mental health, I'm trying to like read the news after, but not watch during.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel like our listeners already know that I love an award show. Love it, love it, love it. I'm in there, buddy. Especially the Grammys. What are we talking about? I got off of a plane from San Francisco and what did I do? I think I just showered and changed clothes and just sat on the couch until it was time for the Grammys to come on and then just turned them on.
That's
Um
beautiful.
yeah, love it, love it, love it. I will say this. I am surprised that Harry Styles won Album of the Year. As you may or may not know, Beyonce was up for Album of the Year for the fourth time, and she lost it for the fourth time. And
Mhm.
I am not surprised that she lost. They are not going to give her an Album of the Year until not for another, I'd say, 20 years.
Wow.
And it's when she decides to do like an American jazz standards album, duets or some shit like that. That is when they'll give it to her, because that's what they do. If they even decide to, if they don't just relegate her to just jazz only or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's how the Grammy rolls. They never acknowledge anyone really in the moment. I know that I know a lot of people are just like that. She really should have won, and she should have. This was the first album of hers that I listened to all the way without the help of videos, because
Mm.
I prefer her as a visual artist. I'm
Yeah.
not really going to sit through an album unless there are videos to go with it, because I'm like, I don't need the album tracks from Beyonce. I'm good. I'm good with the singles. I don't need to dig deep. What do we? It's fine, you know. And so, but even then, but this one had no visuals, but it was a very the album was put together, like it was a very well done album,
Mm.
like uh as a whole, I think. And even then, I don't listen to the first three songs because I don't like them. I can acknowledge that the album is a great album without liking all of the songs.
Yeah.
That's what you do with an album, right? So, but I did not think that she would win, especially once they gave her best dance or electronic album. Once they gave her best dance album, that was her album award. And
Right.
that's the other thing that Grammys do. If you're doing something, if you're doing like R&B or you're doing rap or dance or anything else, and you get album of the year for that category, that
Yeah.
means you're not going to get you're not going to get the album of the year. So she won that best dance thing. I was like, that's her. Enjoy it, because that's her thing. She's not going to win again. Um, and the Grammys like to give it to like just random acts. There was one year, in a year that started with a 2, they gave album of the year to Steely Dan. What are we talking about? What are you talking about? I don't even remember what year it was, because my brain was so blown. Like, yo, this is different even for y'all. Steely Dan in the year 2000 and something. You gotta be kidding me. So I honestly thought it was going to go to ABBA,
Okay.
because they hadn't put out an album in decades, and that's just what Grammy voters love. Some old legacy act that hadn't done anything in a long time, that we didn't give recognition to at the time that they were popping. Here's
Right.
your album of the year. So that's what I thought would happen. I was surprised it was Harry Styles. Just because what? I thought, give him a little pop thing and then we can go on our way. Like that would be it. Yeah, I don't know. But what do I know? But just before they announced it, like as we were waiting for them to open the envelope, my roommate was like, Harry Styles. And I said, really? You think so? And then they announced it and I'm like, wow. And he said, yeah, that's just the kind of shit that they seem to like. And I'm
Mm.
like, all right, I guess so, perhaps. But I in my heart thought it was going to be ABBA, but if I was being extremely hopeful, I thought maybe Beyonce or Bad Bunny, because Bad Bunny sold so many
Yeah.
copies of that album and he was so big globally. But once you say globally to the Grammy voter, they're like, I don't care about the globe. I only care about who I know.
Right. Right.
So going big around the world means nothing to the Grammys. And they're like, if we wanted around the world, we put him in the fucking world music section.
Right.
And he did win best out like Latino album or some shit like that. And I'm like, well, there you go. That was his then. I didn't know. Once I found that out, I was like, oh, that was dumb of me. They already gave him his album award.
Yeah, I mean, so a lot of things with this. Like one,
Mm-hmm.
as a comedian, I most comics I think watch Emmys because of TV shows. I
Oh
want to
yeah.
win a
Mm-hmm.
Grammy. Like so like this award show like always like uh creates emotion in me for this reason.
Sure.
Because in particular because over the last like 15 years there's been a pivot to giving it not only to the most popular person but
Mm-hmm.
people that don't even put out an album. Like Chappelle won it. The Closer,
Right.
while you like it or not, I don't care. It wasn't an album. It was a special. It's literally not on. There's no track listing. It's not available. It's not like he did an album / special. Like,
Right.
and that bothers me because it's like clearly the
Mm-hmm.
voting is just, oh, I just know this name. You
Right.
know,
Exactly.
that shit
Yeah.
hurts because I'm like, yo, like there's people that are creating brilliant pieces of art. Um, when I made my album, it was the same recording day, but there's things that I did specifically different in the
Mm-hmm.
audio versus the video. And
Okay.
this dude literally just didn't put out an audio album. He just said, nah, just the special, that's good. They're gonna vote for me anyway. Like that's wild. That shit irks me.
Yeah, I mean, like, was there a way to there? It wasn't on streaming or anything like that,
No,
right?
I
It was
challenge you to
just.
find it. You cannot play that album as an audio only. It is
Oh
a Netflix project.
wow.
And that's what
Ugh.
bothers me. Like, how is he winning album when it's literally not an album? Like it's a special only. I'm okay
Right.
if you do both. That makes sense. At least it's still a track listing. But
Right.
like
Yeah.
you can't listen to that shit on Spotify, Pandora. You can't
Mm,
ask for that track on Sirius. Like it's
right.
impossible to hear it without seeing it. So like it's not working as that. It shouldn't be in the category. Shouldn't
Sure.
even be nominated.
Absolutely. Yep. Yep. Yep.
So like that pisses me off. Then also there's like nowhere near as serious, but yesterday continues my ongoing war with my in-laws. Where so okay, controversial take.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that I don't even think this is controversial, but I know it's gonna come
Mm.
off that way.
Okay.
Um, in terms of Latin culture and how it's appreciated worldwide,
Mm-hmm.
Dominicans are top 3, in my opinion. I think
Okay.
Mexicans clearly crush it. They had their food is so universally accepted that it's superseded Latin food. It's their own shit. Props.
Mm-hmm.
Mexicans
Mm-hmm.
crush Latin culture. Their music is dope. Everything about it, it's embraced. Dope. After that, I think it's kind of like a free for all. But I think Dominicans are slept on in terms of how much their stuff is part of of what people envision when they look up when they think Latin culture, right?
Okay.
Really dominate baseball. I would argue that most of the Latin music that segues over, it's a mixture of Dominican, Puerto Rican. Um,
Right. Right.
so like I feel like for a island of that country of that size,
Mm-hmm.
the amount of influence they have culturally is dope, and I'm proud of it. We have
Right.
some shitty things we're doing there as a country politically. Fix that shit because it's ugly. It's hard to brag about being Dominican with the shit
Mm-hmm.
y'all are doing down there. But the cultural impact of the artists and the athletes that are Dominican doing it's incredible, and I'm proud of it. I happen to have a weird theory. I don't even think it's weird either. I think this comes because, specifically because we are a country with a shitty history. I think it's the same with America.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of ugly things that have been done there and are still taking place, and that leads to beautiful art. It sucks, but that's kind of the correlation. So,
Right.
um, I said this to my wife. I said, "Yo, Costa Rica's culture is kind of like eh." You know what I mean? And she was like, what? And she got tight. And I was like, no, no, no. I think that's a compliment. Like, I feel like as a people, y'all have a lot of peace. It's a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful place to vacation. They don't even got an
Mm-hmm.
army. I think that's beautiful. But y'all got no
Mm-hmm.
turmoil. So y'all got nothing to talk about in your songs. So like nobody give a fuck about it. Like you don't got no artists. Nobody paints in Costa Rica. You know? Like I don't know what y'all do over there, but like the most besides y'all, like I know y'all got a soccer team that's consistently not great. And this is like your most important sport culturally, and like your biggest rival is America, which should tell you something. Like y'all, like the other Latin countries don't even fuck with y'all. And like, yeah, Dominican soccer trash. It's not our biggest sport though. At our biggest sport, we dominate on a global level. Music, we dominate. Food, I could go to a Dominican restaurant. I challenge you to find a Costa Rican restaurant.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
How did she take all of this?
Oh, we didn't talk that night. But like, and I was like, yo, I feel like you taking this all wrong.
I mean, was that the energy you used when you presented your case?
A little bit.
Also, there's no way that is a positive term.
But like, it's in one department. You know what I mean? Like in terms of like keeping the pieces of people, y'all body that shit.
Yes, sure. But you were having to make those arguments because you were battling back from saying, But
it goes hand in hand. Like their nature preservation, beautiful. You know what I mean? I think they do incredible things in that. And I think we're the inverse. I think politically we're trash. We got work to do.
What did she say in her defense?
Like when I get on the road, like Gabby just doesn't talk to me. Like if I got like if I get really into it, she's just like, I'm gonna just let you blow off steam and apologize later. And that's kind of where we are right now.
So why did you even have this cover? Why did you do this?
Because
did you do this?
Because I mentioned it once. Like I had like when I had this like frivolous thought once, it came up during like a family barbecue where it was like me and her fam. So I was like outnumbered, Costa Ricans to me. And like I felt like I would have won in any other, like I was definitely dominating the convo despite being in the minority. And like I was shutting it down. Like I was killing it. But like it was in Spanish, so like I lose some of the nuance. So like I know it came off like angry as opposed to like, yo, this is just a playful like beer combo. So I shut that down that day because I didn't want to like escalate it, but I knew I was winning.
Okay.
And then this was like see, like I'm right kind of thing.
Okay. So both times you were absolutely wrong. To bring it up, to think of it as lighthearted, because there's no way if someone came to you with that mindset about the Dominican Republic, would you like think of that as a playful kind of jab, like, and they had whatever they had points like you have points. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. That's fair.
There's you would have been tight, as the kids say. You would have absolutely been tight. You would have been very upset. So there's no way that they can. And I'm sure the family is probably like, well, we don't want to fucking kill this dude and gut him because Gabby's here, and he's made like our grandbabies. Like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, they like me overall. Like, I'm definitely like top like 2 in-laws.
Yes, but I feel that probably was a mistake. Maybe you should never bring that up again.
Okay,
that's to them anyway. I feel like that is green room energy when you are not in a green room. That is green room energy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because now it's green. You're in a green room, but you also have a place to blow that off, which is on stage.
Yeah.
Right? They don't. So now they're just sitting with you having loudly told them how their country is trash. And they don't have any place to go with that except back to you for like.
And sincerely, in my heart, it wasn't malice. Like,
no, it doesn't matter if it was malice. It doesn't matter what you meant in your heart. It doesn't. What they heard and how they took it is what matters to them.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, there's no way, and they don't have the same outlet. So yeah, you just gotta, before you go on a rant, just think: is this green room
Okay.
energy I have, or is this actually like, do I want to have a conversation?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I know a lot of times you want to win the conversation, but do you want to have the conversation is what you have to decide. Do I want to have the conversation, or do I want to win the conversation? And if it's win, maybe put that in your back pocket for now.
Okay.
Have a conversation where you're not trying to shut down everything they're saying, but you're actually listening to it. That there's that, but you have to really work on, like, not saying crazy shit like that to a family from Costa Rica.
Oh, it felt right. I don't know.
Yeah, well, sure.
In my heart, I feel like it was like cute banter.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Gastor, what is cute to you?
I I like the playful challenge of like,
yeah, challenge.
yeah,
Some people don't find a challenge playful.
that's fair.
Some people are challenged so much that when they chill, they literally just want to chill.
Yeah.
They're not in the mood to fucking, go back and forth, because every other point in their life, they are constantly having to go back and forth and try to argue for themselves or stand up for themselves in the best way possible without losing a job, without losing money, without losing connections or friends or kids or things like that. Like, for some people, it's a tightrope of
Yeah.
having to do that constantly. So then when they chill, they kind of just want to chill and not have that kind of. Now, I know that's not everyone, and I know you got folks that you absolutely can, who have that energy, who can go back and forth with you, blah blah blah, but I don't know if your in-laws are ever going to be that.
Yeah, nah, they definitely not. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And I'm pro Costa Rica. Obviously, like, I married one. We got
Oh, you know what?
2 flags in the
Hush,
house.
hush. Not I married one. Cut it out.
You know what I mean?
Pull the
Like,
plug.
I got a Costa Rican flag in my living room. I don't know what more I could do.
I can't.
You
You
know?
know what? Some of my best friends are black. I don't know what to tell you. Stop it.
I made 2 of them. Like, I don't know. I'm doing my part here. Okay?
Yeah, well.
If you would like
Oh, boy.
for Gastor to take Costa Rican sensitivity training, okay?
Yeah, please.
All you gotta do is like and subscribe to the show. I promise I love the country, sincerely. I have not been there, but I will be one day. But I've sent 3 people there several times. If you're an Apple, a Spotify listener, we appreciate your ratings. 4 stars. You agree a little too much with what I had to say. That's not cool. You know, it's a beautiful place. You know,
Yeah, that's not cool at
just check it
all.
out. They got zip lining. You know what I mean? Gabby tells me there's other cool stuff too. Admittedly, I don't remember. Got like grass and shit.
Right, sure.
5
Yes.
stars, you know the beauty that it is, you know. You know that they are a historically amazing, peaceful people, you know, pura vida, you know. So yeah, rep that hard, you know. They're great soccer fans, not great soccer players, admittedly. But they're trying, you know. That's what matters, where their heart is.
Right.
You have any articles you want us to cover, DM us directly on Twitter or Instagram at Silky Jumbo or at Gastor Almonte. Shout out to sweet to Shannon, Lemoyne, Stephanie, Gail, and Lori McDaniels. Appreciate all of y'all, all OGs to the show. Thank you for submitting articles. With all that said, I am hopefully not banned from Costa Rica, Gastor Almonte. With the unexpected Costa Rican ally and advocate, Shalewa Sharpe.
I just want you to stop getting in fights with your family. That's all I want. No matter the topic.
I didn't even want one. I thought we was having fun, you know?
Oh boy, I'm here to teach Gastor what fun is.
Yeah, I even bought Costa Rican beer because they were coming over. I went to like a beer like distributor, and I bought 24 a 24 pack of some weird brand that's only like over there. I made the dad smile, you know. He
Mhm,
was hyped as hell. He's
mhm.
like, I haven't seen this in 15 years, you know. So I did my part,
Wow.
you know.
You you
That should have like shown like, yo, I'm on the team, you know.
and then you opened your mouth.
That's it. I went too far.
Yep, went too far.
This has been a far friendlier to Costa Rica episode than I think is coming off at the end. Football Report. Catch y'all next time. Peace.